Palantir, and I will be your host and game master for episode 24 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play Brise, the brave, beautiful adventurer. Say hello to the people, Max.
Hello, everybody. Gosh, this is almost as old as I am. 24.
My introduction is getting as old as you are.
Yeah, we need to freshen it up. But yeah, welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Glad you could make it.
So, what were we up to? Give us a brief recap, Max, of what was going on, what developments happened last time, and what your plans are for tonight.
Well, survival is always on the menu.
That is right out.
Right out. Short session. The last session, we left off 2 sessions ago with coming across this enormous structure at the bottom of this abyss here, literally like an abyss, many feet under the earth, in this society of people who call themselves the people of the soil. And this giant structure turned out to be a wand that had been lodged in the kind of underground area here. And we did a little bit of poking around with the wand, did a little bit of research, and kind of reading up on it. And apparently belongs to some halfling called Nathnoro. And kind of deduced that the reason it might be here is one of Nathnoro's enemies or someone who's working against them placed their wand here and made it unusable. Because I found out that the wand has like a ward on it that unless you have a certain purity or certain goodness of heart, you're not allowed to use it. It is an amazing wand, so someone would definitely want to use that. They couldn't, right? So perhaps
it's also virtually indestructible. I mean, it's
right, that too. So I think the reason it was kind of thrown down here and made to such an enormous size is to make it unusable to cast it. So interesting. Gonna go research some of the history of that. Maybe even find out who were the people who did this deed. But after that, I went back. I left their whatever it's called, their society, back to the surface. And probably the other big development is that I was awoken in the night by some of the priest birds who I talked to, who had been seeking out to help me locate the demon Kralum. Priest birds have a ability to track and also to oppose evil, oppose like otherworldly and demonic forces. And this priest bird, we had a few of them visiting my campsite, and I had a conversation with them. There is some interest among them. There's a little bit of doubt about my story, but they're on the search for. Kralum, it sounds like.
Yeah, we know that Kralum, the demon, is trapped above the mouth of a volcano. And yet the priest birds say, essentially with their ability to sense evil, right, that it's just impossible for such a powerful demon to be anywhere near their realm without them knowing it. And that clearly this young human, as well-meaning as she may be, must be mistaken, must have misunderstood what she has been told. And as such, some of them are just outright refusing to help. The conversation, though, did turn to the fact that Brise knew that some of the great eagles of this area had actually seen the demon some years ago, trapped above the mouth of a volcano. So those doubting priest birds have agreed to go and find eagles and speak with them. The ones who believe Brise are going to immediately begin their search.
Mhm.
How long this is going to take, we don't know. But at least we've got some ball rolling here to try to find Kralum and release him, which will throw him back into his realm, sealing him away from ours, sealing him away from Karandrin, and depriving Verlag of all of his power. Um, and so we are basically starting in the morning, unless I'm very much mistaken, right?
Yes, morning of the 23rd.
And and hopefully Breeze can fight her way down the mountain. And
We're lost right now. Well,
yes, she's a bit lost. It's the interesting thing about teleport. Since you don't travel the route in between.
yeah, yeah.
You can't really find, you know, um, you can't really find the route on foot. But since we know that there is an old goblin manor up here, actually predating the goblins, we think, then there must have been an old road. So at least the slope must be manageable, even if the road is long gone. Um, so that is, I think, where we are.
Yes, sir.
So you wake, and we're gonna do 3 rolls when you wake. We always do 3 rolls. First is how you feeling?
8.
So
I've
a
been able
little,
to call this a night.
under the weather, um, but with you've probably never been sick a day in your life. You consider your health to be one of your great strengths, um, but you're a little tired. You're a little congested. Roll again,
88.
and roll again.
33.
Um, you have a dream of some power, and that is that you dream that you are in front of a council of great eagles. They even wear robes. It's very strange. And they they sort of you're standing sort of below a bench of these judges, of these eagle judges,
Mm.
and they are calling you a liar,
Oh,
um, and um, and saying that you don't know what you're talking about, and that you're too young to be dealing in matters like this, and you continually
all true things.
all true things, absolutely. But that's what Karandrin does: is throw you deep, deep in the mire. Um, and um, and so and you continually protest and so on, and so you sort of wake with this feeling of frustration, um, and wanting to prove yourself, although to no one, because these were dream figures. So you take your time getting ready, and you make yourself beautiful, um, tend to your appearance, and strike camp, I assume,
Yes.
and erase a meal, I assume.
Yes.
And um, what do you want to have in your hands? Are we going on foot? Are we going on horseback?
What would be better for? I guess 'cause, I just want to find the road possible, like good slope first. So I guess would that be easier walking around or on
Well,
horseback?
you're going to have to start at the manor, and
Mhm.
you know that there are creatures that have taken residence around there.
Right.
So the question is, do you intend to? So for flight, if you just want to get the hell out of there and not dispatch with trouble, if you want to avoid trouble, then you want to be on horseback. so you can gallop off. If you want to deal with trouble, then lead the horse.
Let's gallop off. Let's mount
Let's
up.
ride. And
Yeah,
what are you going to have in your
not
hand?
gallop off. Let's gallop off the cliff.
That's right. What are you going to have in your hands then? What's your standard?
My spear and shield.
Okay. All righty. Oh, I got to figure out a number there. 1. So you head down back to the um, manor.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the is there any spells or anything you need to cast before you get going?
Yeah, good question. I should cast.
And I say this only because you're headed back to the manor where there's at least one hammer worm.
Yeah.
And for our viewers,
Maybe a hammer worm. I know something.
Right, right. Something that's.
Is there a hammer worm?
There's some serpent. We know some unnaturally large serpent.
Yes.
The only one you know of in this region would be a hammer worm.
Okay.
Probably
a hammer worm.
And a hammer worm for our viewers is an ambush predator, heavily armored head, they inhabit the mountains, and their strategy is to catch you near a slope, and they slam into you with their head. You fall and die. They go down there and eat. And so Max has already fought one of those quite successfully some days back, and we also know that there are the half human, half maggot, sort of very disgusting creatures that have taken residence in there. He's killed one. She has killed one, but we know that one remains at least.
With babies.
With babies.
So I'm going to cast Emboldened Steed.
Okay.
Lasts for a long time. What's it here? Yeah, just my horse Judas will be braver and
not so treacherous.
Exactly.
As
maybe he'll be emboldened to commit treachery.
That's right.
20 minutes of levels. That's
how many?
20 minutes of levels. That'd be 160 minutes.
Yeah, nice. Almost 3 hours.
All right, roll that up. 13.
What level is the spell?
Oh, second level.
So well, there you go. So
almost 12, right? Close.
That's we'll call it 6 exhaustion for that.
Oh my God.
Not your best casting. Down you go, down you ride.
My hit points here. 90. Perfect. Okay.
So Lala, you're going to send her ahead as a scout?
Yeah.
Just a reminder, Lala is our songbird familiar that we were able to acquire using a magic item. She has been enormously helpful. So off she flutters. You reach the manor without a problem. I should roll for some information. So you find you're sort of deliberately skirting the edge of the slope so that you can skirt the edge of the manor.
Right.
And you find fairly early on that perhaps even halfway between you and the manor, this was considered their grounds, because you find a wall along the edge of the slope, um, and you find benches that have been just heaped over with leaves and so on that the wall
Yeah.
has caught, and um, there are plants growing out of the leaves, and so there was just this series of this low retaining wall, knee high, maybe a little higher, and then a series of benches um, for visitors to enjoy the view and so on.
Hmm.
Um, Down the slope from one of the views, you can tell there have been statues built down slope
Hmm.
for visitors to appreciate.
Hmm.
Um, from here, it's difficult to tell what they are, but they are definitely bird figures.
Hmm.
Um, Wings outspread.
Be interested in checking those out. Does it look like there's any semblance of road down there? Pretty good down there.
You can't get there from here,
Right.
but it does seem very level down there.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, no doubt, that's why they chose to put statuary down there, is because, well, we can get builders down there safely, and so you won't be surprised if you find a way down at some point.
Yeah.
Um, so it looks like two birds of prey of some sort, and then some sort of very long necked bird.
Hmm.
Um, you travel a little further, and a fourth figure appears, and there is no question that is the Iron Empress.
Oh,
Um,
what's she doing here?
Waving. What?
Hi, Iron Empress. Big fan. Big fan.
That's right. Um,
You should have a caption for the Iron Empress. At least what I know about her, because she seems to be
that would be
popping.
funny, right? I just start blowing secrets in the captions. Son of a
Iron
bitch.
Empress is Brise's will slay Brise one day. It's like, what?
That's right. Yeah, it's interesting. What can I put?
I mean, from what I've seen, is that she is seen in different areas of the continent. Is associated with
I
death.
think you're pretty certain she's a religious figure, like a
Right.
um,
Like possibly a real person that is, or I guess a religious figure. Yeah, could be any actual person associated with it.
I think you're fairly convinced she's a goddess. I
Oh, okay.
So because there was, I mean, there's a sense of an because in that dwarven hold you really found like it was a area to worship. It was like
Yeah.
you know
I guess it reminds you of Anubis, like in real world, like
right.
this god-like figure in charge of or associated with death, the end of life. So
And then I'm gonna see if I can do. So roll for me.
93.
Um, the quality on these statues, even from this distance, striking. I mean, really nice. Um, it would be lovely to go down there and see them, and you got to start traveling with a broom or something, right? And just brush them off and go, oh my
Yeah.
god. Uh,
Mwah.
um, Oops, there we go. And then let's see how this does. Do you think that's that descriptive enough for our peeps?
Yeah. Whenever she pops up again, we can throw that
Right.
down there. Oh, you can't edit them, right? Or can you? I forget.
I can edit them. Yeah,
Okay, you can
I
always
have to.
edit.
It's weird. I have to take them down, then I can edit them, and then put them back up. Um, so, um, so you pass down. The home comes in sight. You're just sort of sticking to the wall. Um, Lala has definitively spotted our serpent.
Mm.
It is definitively a large hammerworm.
Ooh, okay.
Grayish green. I mean, it's about 12 feet long,
Oh,
very heavy headed. Um, hasn't really noticed her, you know. Uh, Maybe that head is too heavy for really catching birds.
yeah.
Um, and It's slithering toward the front of the house,
Mm.
um, and it's going over what are clearly paved stones, large pavers. So there's some grass, so it's very easy to see him. Um,
Yeah.
but she's up ahead several hundred feet.
Yeah.
Um, so now is the time for discretion if you want to avoid a conflict.
Well, speaking of conflicts, as you bring that up, because this is where our friends are, the people of the soil. Seems in my character's personality to maybe dispatch of this threat, knowing that
Oh,
this is where their home is, basically, right? If they might have to deal with it otherwise. I'm just looking through my personality here. I guess I'm pretty generous. Feels like something I
yeah.
might do.
Certainly, you feel that. Yeah, I mean, you would hate for something to happen to these people.
Right.
Um, yeah. Well, that is. I think it's a legitimate. I think both decisions are legitimate. And
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, yeah. Let's try to dispatch this guy stealthily.
okay. So
So
back
he's
your horse
going.
off and just find a tree to tie him up
Yeah.
to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, and then time to close in on. So, what do you want to have in your hands then?
I guess we'll do. I mean, would Ebola not even be that useful? It's something so big. I mean, I guess he'll still hit it, right?
It will still strike it. The ideal, of course, would be to have it bind its mouth where it can't bite.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I guess
Um,
Ebola, it's like you don't have enough space. It's long, right? It's maybe long enough to
oh
obstruct.
yeah, no, it's quite long. I mean,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, you're talking about the strings themselves are probably 4 feet,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and so it means when they spread out, they're like 8 feet, and
Wow. Okay.
so um, and the trees are lighter, especially where it is right now, where it hasn't, not as many trees have pushed through the pavers as they would have through the soil. And so, when the trees get denser, the bola just becomes useless, unfortunately.
Right.
Um,
Okay. So it does seem like a good use for the bola here. Taking
right.
taking
Roll,
that out.
roll for me.
14.
Okay. So the thought is, you can sneak up on it and try some sort of attack. And what are you leaning toward?
Oh, I think throwing the bola and then also having my spear in hand in case it comes at me.
Oh, it's yeah. I mean, if you anger it and it can see you, it's going to come at you.
Right.
Um,
Best thing.
okay. So, all right, roll to sneak.
Yeah, so I'll just try to sneak and
See which way it's headed.
well,
So if you are, so it's interesting. On its present course, it would have intercepted you. It's about a football field away. So you're going to be sort of sneaking toward the house to intercept it. Now, of course, if you fall in behind it, all the better, right?
right.
Um,
Clear shot. So 64 to sneak.
Okay.
And remember, I got a sneak ring bonus as well.
The old sneak ring bonus.
Old sneak ring bonus. Plus 10 or something.
Yas. Unfortunately, it's moving at a rate faster than your sneak.
Okay.
So you can continue to, you can just speed up, and I just have to penalize your.
Right.
So roll again for me.
Yeah, I have to because got to get within throwing range. 84.
You're gaining on it. Probably one more, and you will.
93. Skeedly bop.
That's right. So you're going to be able to get one throw at it before it is considerably out of range.
Okay.
Before you'd have to close again. Of course, at that point, it's probably going to be looking to say hello.
Hello. I'm using my bola of summons.
That's right. Can strike and then come right back to you via teleport, which is
Unless it fumbles the teleport.
That's right.
It explodes. It's a cool mechanic in a lot of role-playing games. Magic items that you can push them a bit, and then they, have a chance of self-destructing or doing something bad.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So it's a cool. It kind of gives that that edge to it, that risk. Magic is dangerous, that kind of stuff.
Try to get all the possible attacks gone up here. All right, so you are ambushing this poor innocent snake.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to have gotten that big somehow.
This is true. This is very true. Let me see. It's where I designed this whole thing, and yet it's very confusing to me. So the bola is. This is your plus 20?
Yes. Plus 20 wound.
Wow. Yeah. This is a really unfortunate attack for him. All right, roll it up.
I don't want to hear him complaining about it. 89. Woo.
89. That is, my friend, very far off the charts.
Nice.
Very, very far. Like probably close to 100 points.
These are good rolls. The 293s and an 89.
I know. And don't forget.
I was rolling like 20 and like 15 all the time.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Wow, what a roll. 20. Wow. 229 on a chart that goes to 150.
So he's dead, is what you're saying.
I don't know, because we still got to roll his crit. There's a gnat in here. Just tried to come and kiss me. Wow, what a blow. 30. So that's an E and a B critical.
Nice.
That is crazy. So I will let you roll your criticals.
I'll do the B first.
Let's roll the B.
B critical is a 48. And the E.
Hang on. Go ahead.
Is a 91.
Oh, nice. Oh, You strike just below that heavy armored head, and you see the three balls on the bola swing, and they just strike into the flesh. There is a snapping noise every time they strike. It thrashes and collapses, and now it's just twitching on the ground. Unbelievable, dude.
Nice.
What a roll. Um, what a roll. So,
Thank you. Sometimes it happens. Everything goes right.
that's right.
Well, I
Um,
guess he's still probably alive. I'm gonna go finish him off with my spear.
sure, just you head over there sort of very carefully. It's still twitching. Its eyes are open but unmoving. Um, and it's just twitching along. Um, as Lala flies back to you, um, you can see through her eyes that there are here and there coins on the ground and so on from its hunting ground.
Mm.
Um, and so, if you want to kind of walk this area, that is likely you will find coinage and things, but um, you don't know if hammer worms traditionally operate alone.
Mhm.
And so, there's some risk, obviously.
Right.
Um, so, you could send Laula just to do a sweep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. Just see if it gather anything interesting.
So apparently it doesn't gather, just leaves things where they fall.
Right.
But it's waiting for things to come into this area.
Right.
And there have been several unfortunate souls who have come into this area.
Yeah.
So so this is the great thing about doing the stream, because I roll up the treasure long beforehand.
Okay.
So one of the first things she spots just from size, um, and it's a considerable ways away, but there's a set of spiked full plate that um, with some coins around it and a pouch. At another location, there is a case, and we mean a case for carrying books. If you're not familiar with Rollmaster's
Mm.
equipment list, and there's definitely silver scattered all over that thing. So I'm just sort of giving you goals if you want to head over.
Yeah, let's definitely check out those two things. I'm more interested in the items because I have so much money. like
Right.
I'm literally laden down with money. I got all that silver from the last session.
Oh yeah.
It's like 10 pounds or something. I'm like, no
Yeah,
more
it's
money,
like a
please.
1,000 silver.
Magic items, sure, but
Right.
I'll just come back. I'll teleport back here if I want to get the money.
All right. So you head over to
Or the full plate.
and you're sort of trying to. I'm going to have you sort of give the house a wide berth, since you don't
Sure.
know if there are things that can be watching you from the house.
Yeah.
So you're now sort of. Let me show you. Let me call up
Yeah.
the old.
The old map.
The old map. You definitely Alalo definitely passes by some more obelisks.
Hmm.
And of course, I understand if you want to, um, leave that be. But
Yeah.
oh Lord, where is it? Dang it! Sorry, gang. There we go. Why will you not work the way I want you to work? All right. Oh, there it is. Did it actually do what I wanted it to do? But then just not show me? That's ridiculous. Fine. So this is so we could, if you want to take the time today to go over the obelisks, then we can
No,
roll.
yeah, I mean, Brise is intent on getting back to town anyway, so
Okay.
I'll definitely note that the obelisks are there.
Right.
Might come back to this location another time.
Right. So there are 4 obelisks.
Okay.
To the well, you'll see in just a minute when I remember how to share screen. Weirdly, it hops me to the whatever app that I'm sharing in is what it hops me to. As soon as I turn on sharing through Restream, it then kicks me out of Restream and takes me to that app. All right, so the star we're using as a marker for corpses. So that's your hammerworm star there. That's the hammerworm's body. You see the 4 dots there are the um, 4 dots there are the new obelisks.
Gotcha.
You've got the manor, wrong button. You've got the manor here, obviously. And this is one of the guest houses above the manor.
Yeah.
Let's go find you. No, that's not you. Where are you? In my list of things. Have I not moved you? Oh, there you are. Let's find you. There you are. That was back in the day when you were way over here.
I remember that time.
Those are good days.
I was much younger then, specifically 2 days younger.
So, well, I guess you actually have moved to kill him, so you're here.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll move you to the first of what she's found, which was you find a set of spiked full plate.
Mm-hmm.
It has no properties you can detect. And of course, it is enormously heavy.
Yeah.
There's a pouch there that has been rotted, and it has about 8 gold and 11 silver, if you care.
I'll take the 8 gold.
Okay.
Or gold.
I know it's a tough game. This having to take gold periodically.
It is. Yeah, I'm not interested in the full plate. I mean, how much will that go for?
I mean, several gold, but not like hundreds of gold, is your understanding.
We'll just leave it.
So then here you find the bookcase. I meant to print this thing out, and I have not got it printed out. There's just dozens and dozens of silver scattered around. I mean, well over 50. But the case is, it's a leather bookcase, holds 4 books.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but it's a +2 essence adder, and that's definitely going to go for some gold. And its weight is 4 pounds. If you'd like to collect it,
I will. And I always just remember I'm channeling.
You're right. Temple magic is called channeling. The name is taken from the idea that magic is channeled from the gods to the user. That's
the way it ought to be.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
The way it ought to be.
Screw these essence.
That's right. And essence is what we'd call, what most players would recognize as wizard's magic. The idea being that magic is part of the essence of the world, and that essence users draw magic from the whole world, all of reality. Um, so the last little batch she finds, there's a vial of something. There is a rotting backpack which has spilled a nice little pile of gold.
Okay.
And while that backpack is rotted, the padded undercoat is not rotted, which certainly suggests. And a padded undercoat is actually what you would wear underneath heavier armors.
Yeah.
Um, like your metal armors, you would wear it in, or you would wear it like underneath leather armors if it's cold. It adds a layer of warmth. And it's clearly got some special property because it's not rotted like the backpack.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that,
Yeah. Check it out.
You sort of gingerly approach it here. So apparently, wizards were not welcome here because
There's a sign that says "Wizards are not welcome here."
that's really the main reason that you can
Wizards
tell.
be gone.
But it's a potion, definitely. Let's see your ID potion skill. How do you feel about ID potion?
Pretty good, actually.
All right, roll it up.
I mean, I just said that. You're actually gonna believe me?
You need to identify the potion.
Oh, it's solid. Okay, I am pretty good. Poja, 100.
Wow. From the color consistency, you uncork it and give it a real gentle sniff. There's no question this is a potion of intangibility, a very powerful potion.
Ooh. I also know who it belonged to and how old it is.
You do. It's belonged to the guy standing behind you with a knife.
With the knife in his hand.
So 75 gold out of the backpack. The rest of the things are no good, just rotted and dead. And the padded undercoat is a +3 essence adder.
Oh my gosh.
And that weighs 3 pounds, and potions generally weigh, I forget what we say. It's either a quarter pound or a half pound. I can't remember anymore.
So I need to write this. This is the armor padding.
Padded undercoat
Padded
is,
undercoat.
and I can drop it to you in a thing. You don't have to type, and you can.
Well, I ain't type because I need to copy paste it everywhere anyway. So
I can drop it to you.
Essence adder. Throw that in my inventory. Excellent. What does intangibility do for me to understand, and also all of our viewers?
So a potion of intangibility literally makes you intangible and allows you to pass through solid objects.
Oh my gosh.
But you are intangible, which means your physical weapons won't really work. Also like passing through magical barriers or enchanted things can be difficult, even painful, according to some conversations you've had with adventurers. That's a regrettable part of it, but you are largely immune from damage. But it's not the most long-lasting of the spells of the potions. So very, very handy, especially when you're in a tight spot. You can just drink that and then.
How when you say not long lasting, like half a minute, kind of, or like just
it's not minutes and minutes and minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty brief for a very short time.
So
it's like iframes in video games. Invincible for like 2 seconds.
That's right. So there you go, man.
Sweet. Very nice. Okay. And I think that's all Laola finds.
Yeah. If there's any. Yeah, that's it. And you're starting to stay low in these tall grasses, these hip high grasses, because you don't want any occupants of either house to observe you. You don't want to attract attention when you're trying to get back to town.
We'll go back to my horse then and continue on our way. Continue
Right.
along the wall.
It does occur to you before you leave that Lala could tell you from here. If you sent her to that edge directly above you,
Yeah.
be interested to see if there was might be other statuary down that slope.
Yeah, she could also probably just see if there's a road, right? If there's any kind of
Down that way, yes.
Yeah.
Although road is unlikely.
Well, right, semblance of a road, yeah.
Yeah, you're hoping for a decent. You're hoping to just find a decent slope that goes down and from here.
Sure. Okay.
So you send her out, straight up above you. There might be a structure pretty far down, a cottage or home of some sort. It strikes you it's not going to be unusual if there's a small set of servants' quarters down that way. But the slope seems too steep, so it may just be another residence down there.
Yeah.
Unused. Hard to tell its size. No statuary down that way. This slope was this edge of the slope was purely for viewing the valley. Not really suited for access and therefore the ability to build many other things.
Yeah.
Swinging back around, she'll swing to your she'll swing to your right. And you find a line of statues.
Okay.
These seem to be high men. That is to say, men of the larger breed. They average 6'3" or so. You're of that same stock, in fact. Unless what
if a high man was to smoke a bunch of pot?
Well then that would be
high man.
That's a cool high man. Cool. I wonder what maybe I should just do a little boop-a-doop-a-doo. Let me see where to put it over here.
Oh, your jaw the sloping?
So what?
I thought you were gonna maybe draw the outline of the.
Yeah. No. Come on, make me a little square. And I'm gonna change that fill to be. So we'll use these little squares to represent statuary. I'll label them over there in a minute. So
those are down the slope though, right?
Yeah, they're leading down a slope. And they clearly are paired up. And given that there's definitely a door here from what you can see. Oh, as well as more obelisks.
Who would have thought?
Flanking the entrance here.
Yeah, this map is going to be great because when I come back here, we're going to be like, where was all this stuff again? So, where it all was.
So, yeah. Some more obelisks. There's a big door here, double door here. Grass and trees intermittent in all this area.
Yeah.
So this certainly seems like likely to be the line of a road. Not that it matters, of course, that you use the actual road.
Yeah.
Um,
Very cool.
so, oh, funny. I didn't need to do that. Funny. Because,
What?
look at this. I'd already drawn them and labeled them,
Ah,
but
you
I'd hidden them.
fool.
I know, right? I feel like a real jackass.
That's cool.
So, all right. So, yeah, it takes you a while to just kind of, sneak back this way, and you're like, well, I'm a couple of 100 feet away from the thing, and I've got trees, and now I can just walk. So you go fetch your horse, and I'm going to
Mhm.
stop sharing it because you're about to be off this map anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so,
So we'll continue along. Try to find, like we did before, a spot down. Hopefully, around those statues would be convenient.
right. Um, so you grab the horse, mount up. What do you want in your hands?
Oh, spear and shield again.
Okay. You have your potion of intangibility handy.
Yeah.
Be
Oh,
nice.
fall through my horse.
Um,
Just you fall through the earth. You just ah! Clip through everything.
that's right. So all those questions about intangibility, like, well, how do you have friction such that you can
Right.
walk? And the
Yeah.
answer is this. That's how you do it, people. Okay,
Ah, that makes it much clearer.
that's right.
Sick.
Jesus. So, do you want to ride? I mean, you can keep going down the edge of the property at the slope if you wish, and just hope to intersect the road, or do you want to just go and take a look at those statues?
Well, I guess the statues were on a gentle enough slope that I could.
The whole way that you're seeing now is relatively level
Okay.
because they clearly built here because it was a broad level space so they could have a full estate.
Oh, do you just mean go straight versus go along the slope? Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll
yeah,
just go.
'cause right now you'd have to cut toward the house fairly sharply to visit the statues. You could tell, I can show you that map again, but they are quite a ways away from the houses, so you don't feel like you'd be particularly exposed. The question is, do you want to explore the statuary now or wait till you come back?
I do want to explore the statuary now,
Okay, so
based
we'll
on
just head you over that way.
yeah, they're in the interest of my character. So.
Roll for me.
18.
Um, okay, you make it over there, no problem. I'm going to hop back over to the thing so I can label what each one is. So, um, um, the two closest to the house is a man and a woman. They show the woman is quite interestingly, she is armed. The man is dressed in wealthy attire. Um, I'll go in here and label these guys.
No, before you show all the statues a bit, Is like material ever play a role? Are they usually just stone? Have I ever come across any metal statues? Is that unheard of? Just
That's
get
a good
curiosity.
question.
Like
I mean,
wood too, like sometimes wooden idols and these things. Just as like kind of like a world building detail that'd be kind of cool, right?
yeah, I mean, certainly that technology would have existed. I mean, the what you call it, the Colossus of Rhodes, of course, far predates this technological era.
Sure, yeah.
Um, um, thus far, they've all been stone. But
Right,
you're right; it is a good point that I should consider varied materials depending on the situation.
right.
Uh,
Especially because my character is interested in sculpture, so it's like
right,
comes across this like thing. It's like this stone is impossible to carve. You know, like how would they even do this?
right. That would be really.
Detail, yeah.
Do you know the idea that the Colossus of Rhodes straddled the harbor is incorrect?
No, like I'm not actually familiar with the Colossus of Rhodes.
Oh,
Could you
really? Oh,
I've
that's one of
heard
the,
of it, but I don't
yeah,
know.
it's one of the wonders of the world. Um,
Wow, I sound really stupid. I
it's
was
one of
just
the,
thinking the other day, like, what are the wonders of the world?
yeah, the wonders. They were, and it's not as though they were ever official.
Right.
Um, and like who really called them that and all this. I actually watched a whole thing on that, like who really called them the wonders of the world. But there are a couple of lists that people made in the ancient times about these great things, and one of the lists includes the Colossus of Rhodes. So Rhodes, Greece, major port, and so, and they did have this massive copper. So Colossus is by definition a large male figure with its legs together by
Oh,
definition.
really?
But later writers who had never seen it described it as straddling the entrance to the harbor.
Yeah.
But the technology did not exist at that time to do that in a way that such that the statue could support its own weight.
Right.
But it was huge. It was this huge copper statue of Apollo. And it went up and stood up for, I don't know, 150 years or so. And then a massive earthquake in Greece knocked it down.
Mhm.
And it stayed on the ground for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And then it got sold to a Jewish scrap merchant. And so he just hauled off bits of it and sold it as scrap,
Oh my gosh.
which is kind of fascinating, right? I mean, you're talking about this sort of enormous historic piece of art. And now, who knows? It's now wiring in some Greek home.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. But
That's
uh,
it. No, I did not know that much detail about it. I just heard
yeah.
that it's
So,
a big thing somewhere. So, okay.
yeah. So, yeah, the Library of Alexandria, that was
Yeah.
one.
Pyramids, I know, is the gimme one.
Yeah, the Pyramid of Giza,
Thanks, Karen. She's I'm not stupid.
Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, um,
Karandrin.
I hope, you know.
One day.
Uh, so
We'll
there
looking
is
forward.
writing on the statues
We'll take a peek.
with your spectacles, I assume.
Yes.
Um, I wonder how long these things are. Maybe I should just do it this way. Um, so our sorry, I'm looking for my text tool here. Uh, so the male, I don't know if I'm able to read. Oh Lord, it didn't work. I'm not going to be able to read what I'm typing yet. That's funny. There we go. Dang it. Where is my text box? There it is.
It just says "dang it" on the statue.
That's all it says.
Hey, woman, bring me my sword. Oh.
That's a so so the wealthy man is labeled as Velabrell, Velabrell. Um, Lord of the Second Assembly. The woman what is Ragazon, Ragazon. I am missing my. There we go. Colonel and Destroyer of the Pell, Pell.
Some interesting people lived here. I assumed it would be of the owners, but maybe not.
No, probably not of the owners.
Yeah.
Probably of prominent ancestors.
Right. Right.
So going down to the next pair,
Mm-hmm.
separated by a good 100 feet or so, you find a woman. She's clearly sort of indicated as a scholar. She has scrolls in her hand. She has um, 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 she has books cradled in her arm,
Mm-hmm.
and she wears sort of a headdress that's sort of I mean it's a small sort of flat hat, like a almost like a graduation cap, but even without that sort of rise, it's just sort of a flat board on her head, and down on either side then come sort of interwoven braids that fall down about to the ears. And it's her. She is listed as Jorvin, Jorvinn, scholar and ruler of the waves.
Ways.
No, ocean waves.
Oh, waves. Okay.
And I know the tendency, just because we're in a fantasy setting, is to think in fantasy terms. But you know from your own experience around nobles and so on that ruler of the waves is not necessarily sort of a elemental magical claim.
Mm-hmm.
It really could just mean that she was involved in shipping.
Oh, really?
Things like that, right? It's grandiose
Right.
language to make you feel better about your ancestors, but it's not. So you can't take it as as a some claim to magical power. It's a metaphor, essentially.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, um, so the where did I label this guy? Shoot, maybe I don't have him labeled yet. This is what I get for being me. Yeah, I don't have it yet. So her partner, if you will, um, is elderly male with a scepter. He is labeled as Axarak, Axarrak. He wields a scepter, I think I said. And he is governor of the Eastern Mountains.
And that one's definitely a exaggeration.
Yeah,
Are these all humans?
these are all high men, if you had to guess.
Right. Now I didn't even put that together, but that is interesting. This was Manor and Goblin country. Yes, might be old enough before goblins were here, but even then wouldn't have been elven territory.
Well, unless it goes even further back than that. But you've asked a historical question, you should get a history roll because you do have some Elven States history.
All right. 97. Holy
Roll
moly.
again and add it.
Oh, 62. Beautiful.
You know that at least much of the Elven territory, that, as we understand it, was ruled by men before then.
Right. That was many, many years ago.
In fact, it's such a good roll. And you know that they were generally considered to be absolute tyrants. The men that ruled here, the mannish people who ruled here.
Right.
That they were sort of very cruel to non-mannish races. Roll for me.
64.
And you're wondering if that runs in the blood, because certainly Verlag would be one of their ancestors.
Yeah, I was going to say the Mannish nations to the north. This is maybe not in that territory, but around there. Similar like cultures that those kingdoms that she ruled over, right?
Well, I mean I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're asking.
I have to let me go to the map really quick. Didn't I know that Verilag ruled over like kingdoms? Like
Yes,
here?
directly.
Yeah. So we're down here. So
right.
Cultural overlap. That's cool. It's interesting. Putting the history together. This
right.
crazy world.
I do like having. I mean, you can have the history just sort of be there or whatever, but I like for it to have like real world consequences. Like, well, if you find a castle, whose castle was it?
Right.
And therefore, what kind of little cultural artifacts would you find? Like, these obelisks are a cultural artifact of some power that was here.
Right.
Oh, and I should say, all of these statues have beside the name a bird.
Oh.
And there's no doubt the obelisks and these things are of the same culture.
Wow. Okay.
Man, I am forgetting my rolls, and I'm rolling in secret over here so I can be ahead of you in terms of encountering statues.
The last statue comes alive.
That's right. So the next pair. Where are you? I don't guess there's a point in moving you, but all right. The southern of the pair is a robed male named Urgal, Urgal. Interesting. It says prior of secrets and cruelly.
Pry, right?
Huh?
Pry, right?
Pryer. I guess. Would you do? I guess crier is. No,
Yeah,
we'll leave
I
it
was, I
while
was
you.
thinking of like prior also before, like that doesn't make sense. So it must be to prior.
But it says prior of secrets and cruelly banished.
Mm. Oh, oh, what happened to Urgal? Steve Urgal.
Nah, that is the wrong
Banished.
one.
Banished. Mm.
So the last of the paired statues along what we assume to be the roadway, really the driveway. Um, is an elderly woman, um, but dressed in armor, um, sword at her belt. Um, she is listed as Shandaur, Shandaur. Um, and sort of her title is given as General and Victor. What was that? Of the Seven Pines.
That might be like a battle site, or like maybe
I
even
mean,
just
that's certainly logical.
yeah.
Why don't you give me a history roll?
94. Woo!
Good Lord,
Man, I must have some like ancestry with these people. It's
it's I mean
connecting to me.
it's really very possible.
Yeah.
The Seven Pines is a battle in legend. Um, and it is a story told in actually in religious training
Hmm.
that in which you have two armies meet in the mountains in a valley, um, and you have the people of the sun fighting um, the um, the Dark King. The Dark King uses um, trolls and their hybrids in the battle.
Hmm.
Um, and because they used trolls and dark creatures, um, the gods cursed Astalon, in particular, the queen of the gods, cursed the um, battle, cursed the Dark King, cursed his forces, and they were supposedly defeated. So it may be that it stands to reason then that these people are people of the sun people, I should say.
Yeah. So when you say the Sun people, it's like a name given to a group of people who fought. Okay.
Right.
Wow. Very cool.
So, well, with finishing up the statuary and given the hour, you want to take a little break and
Yeah.
and then we'll get back to your travels and see how far we can get you down the road.
Yeah, I
So,
hope everyone found that pretty interesting. I did. So, but we're gonna be trotting along pretty soon after the break. So.
right. So, well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us so far, and we'll be back after just a few minutes. Uh, as always, go check out our links and stuff. I'll post those again. Um, and we'll be back in just a few. Hello, copy, you big bum. So there you go. There's something to keep you occupied. But we'll be right back, and thanks for joining us this far. Hello, gang. We're back.
Excellent.
Thanks for hanging with us. We were discussing these latest finds, including sort of the religious connection to one of these statues. But I imagine you, like Brise, you're eager to get on the road.
I am. Just a small. You were talking about connections and statues. I was just like looking up right now. The magician's nephew, don't they like come across a bunch of statues and then like one of them comes to life and it's the evil queen or something? Spoiler alert for the magician's nephew.
I don't recall that book specifically enough to tell you.
Yeah, I was looking through. I'll have to read it afterwards. I just thought it was funny if like it's like the statues. Like one of them is this. Like, we're talking about these mannish people who are pretty cruel and totalitarian, and it's like, want them to come to life suddenly.
I'm wholly unoriginal, is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Not only did you steal from Tolkien, but also C.S. Lewis.
I do, just wantonly. And if you don't, and if you don't know, there's a huge schism because of the C.S. Lewis estate. That's very interesting to read up on. And the little publishing house that I used to work on, we sort of had a hand in that battle somewhat. But after his death, there was a big debate about who should be the executor of the estate, and there was some contention about then decisions made by the executor.
Interesting.
So like one of the big things that people may not know is that after his death, later publications of the Narnia, the Tales of Narnia, the order of the books changed.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that.
So particularly like your generation on, you're not reading the books in the order that C.S. Lewis first published them in.
Who decided to do that?
Well,
marketing, I guess.
The executor. And so there's some debate about it, and I really don't have, even having worked on some of the issues and read up on some of the issues, I really don't have a claim one way or the other. Yeah. But it's interesting to read about the facts of it. But
yeah.
Well, let's get Brise killed on the way. Let's get Brise
absolutely
on the way. So in terms of just to touch on one other point on these statues, they all have the same bird emblem.
Right.
They're all from the same house.
Okay.
And so that's definitely of interest. It's going to be interesting, right? You're going to have to become like if you want more answers, you're almost going to become schooled in each of these emblems.
Yeah, really.
All righty. So you're just going to continue down slope and just keep going. You're going to send Lala out scouting.
Yeah.
How far ahead of her do you want her to be? Football field?
Yeah, that sounds good. It's enough time to gallop and catch up. I was going to say the direction I'm heading, I'm just basically trying to go downwards to get to
yes, I mean, that's... Yeah.
The trail that I was on I have no idea where it was. I was lost, and then I found this place. So now I'm just basically in the wilderness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although we do want to bring up, I do have a spell called, I know we discussed this before, called tracking. And I think that's to find something like a trail.
Tracking is a skill within Karandrin.
Right.
And so it adds a huge bonus to that skill.
Yeah.
And therefore, so casting it would give you some, because you're really sort of unskilled, but it would, but yeah, it's for like tracking animals or an individual. Right. Signs of their passage.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, I should write that down so I don't ask again.
Well, that's hard if you ask again.
I like asking you the same question.
That's right.
What game am I playing again?
That's right. It feels wholly derivative of Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. That's all you really know.
You can't tell the difference.
The rest of it is immaterial. Names, branding, we've done all of that.
Plus skills to make it.
Um,
Cool. So Lala's a football field ahead, and I'm going along.
she is, wow, definitely seeing traces of Rhodes plural.
Oh, okay.
You're moving down slope. It's there is signs that she's missed, and probably you would have missed. You probably missed. Because you've got you sort of switch your concentration back and forth.
Mhm.
And so between writing and concentrating on what she's seeing, you're waiting for a note of alarm to especially pay attention to her, of course. So here, no doubt, this is off to the side of the slope is the a half buried goblin rock garden.
Oh, okay.
It's not been tended, of course, and so
So the rocks are all growing out of control.
oh my god, that's hilarious. That's that's hilarious. There's gonna be a new mountain here by the time I get back. Depending on the rain and the sun, of course. A freeze will kill off those rocks. You got to be careful. I should hide this caption, right?
Oh yeah.
Caption is
Oh, I
not.
completely forgot. Well, I guess I'm away from those statues now. I'll have to find them some other time. Right. Like if I'm gone probably like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So okay, well we'll just come back to that house at some point and find those statues.
Yeah, they're going to be easy to see.
Right.
Um,
I had in the back of my mind that I would come across them on the road, but I didn't. So
you could. Did you want to memorize a location closer to the house before you left for teleport? Or
what
you
okay.
want to?
No, I memorized near the stables, right?
You've got a location, of course, your campsite that you've successfully teleported back to. That's not far from the estate, and thus far has been unmolested. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I
No, yeah, I think that's fine. I have it here as the east side of the stables. The
okay,
where I teleport to. So that's kind of halfway between right house and the campsite. It's good.
closer to the manor.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot just to
Okay,
keep.
no problem. Um, so yeah, you. Clearly, like I said, a goblin rock garden. You can see that um, they sort of built a retaining wall to make it more level than the slope,
Yeah.
and so on. But now you've just got mulch. But just the placement of these large stones and their arrangement, you're like that. That is meant for to take a walk through and so on. So the
Yeah.
later inhabitants added to it and left those statues up. You know. Um, hmm. So it's beginning to curve northward. The slope is. You come to the intersection where she was at. Roll for me.
93.
So if you had to guess, this road cuts back up, not toward the house exactly, but probably would lead to those statues that can be seen from the edge of the estate's bluff.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that would be the access to that statuary area. The pavers here are tight. You're if it wasn't for grass sticking out here and there, you'd almost say magical. I mean, they really are in good shape.
Yeah.
The forest here is much thicker off to the sides than the route you're taking, and clearly the pavers are a good deal to deal with that. But this is literally an intersection that has like 3 or 4 different roads coming off of it, and this is what she's spotted. So another one goes off in a different direction, downslope. You have the one to the statuary over here, and you have one forward of you that goes downslope as well. What would you like to do?
Let's
And you
keep
have and you have the one that is straight ahead. I mean, you have one that is,
right. Let's take the one that seems like it's the steepest down slope, just faster.
Okay. That is the one that goes forward but slightly southward. Not southward, I guess, northeast. You ride for a little ways, and there is Lala is up ahead. There is movement about 200 feet off the road to downslope. It's fairly steep. Heavy, relentless movement through the underbrush. Just crashing its way toward you pretty directly. Bola is going to be no good here. Too heavily wooded.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
So this is like Lala's 200 feet away, and she's seeing something further away.
No, you are hearing something directly near you off to the side. She's up ahead.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I disturbed that. Well, I'm going to pull out my shield and spear to have that.
You had him out.
Right, have that ready. And it's barreling towards me. It might not even know I'm here, so I'll actually let's get out of the way, right? Like maybe.
I mean, you could just gallop on and.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would like to see what it is, know what I'm dealing with, but yeah, let's just gallop, put some distance between us.
All right. I covered over your character sheet. So, rolled gallop.
I guess my emboldened steed would be working still in effect, right?
Yes.
30.
Can't get her to a full gallop. There's just too much stuff in the way. You keep glancing back. Onto the road emerges a figure. Roll for me.
38.
A warrior of some sort, dressed in armor. But you're just kind of, I mean, you're like it. This warrior has to have exceptional strength to have made it. Like, just up that slope was so steep.
Yeah.
The brush was so thick, and they just went right through it and sprung upon the road. It points at you.
Is it a human or someone?
Yeah, human, possibly elf. At this distance, it's tough to see. Roll for me.
29.
It points at you, and a moment later, You are struck by an arrow.
Oh. Oh.
Um, let's get you the deets on that, huh? Let's get you the deets.
Oh, goodbye, everybody. Good while it lasted. I guess we'll never find out about hundreds of things I just discovered today.
Hundreds of things you found today.
I'm almost not exaggerating. Probably count like 6.
You did find out quite a bit. Yeah, that's no joke of a shot right there. You want to roll your own critical?
Yeah, been rolling low so far. So, oh gosh, Kevin,
Yeah,
98.
I'm sure that's fine.
I might be unconscious. Do I add to that?
No, critical rolls, thank God, are not open ended.
Okay.
32 damage.
Holy moly!
Your shield takes the brunt of it.
Mhm.
Um, but it literally carries you off the horse.
Oh my God.
Um, wow. You fall backwards and then down a slope, but it's so thickly wooded, you just kind of land and sort of slide very quickly and then kind of get caught up in brush in a tree. Um, there is no question now that you hear the figure charging towards you.
Wow. Okay.
And it must be wearing metal armor because you can hear now that it's sort of not just overwhelmingly leaves and branches breaking and things like that. You can hear the clank of its armor. All right, let's roll some initiative and see how far we get here.
6.
All right, well, that's good enough for government work. You are up and about.
Okay.
You're up and about. Climbing up the slope might be your next thing. I don't think you want this person above you.
No.
So roll, not really a hard roll, it's mostly leaves is the problem. Roll to get up the slope, and I will give you information on the individual.
4.
Roll again and subtract it.
Oh, minus 55.
Fantastic.
Down the slope.
It is sort of interesting how, I don't know, Rollmaster Combat always feels feast and famine. Um,
Yeah.
So it is. It is having trouble with the brush that is growing. It's stopping and crushing stuff and moving, so it has not moved very far. Um, it is now about 200 feet away. Roll for me.
32.
That individual is made entirely of metal.
Okay. He is metal armor.
She, as it turns out,
Oh my gosh.
carries a sword. But there is a compartment that is open on its forearm, and there sits a crossbow bolt.
Whoa.
It is searching for you as it's making its way through. You are sort of caught in the brush, but I mean, like it's only like a 10 foot or so struggle up this slope for you. That's all that there is for you to do to get up onto the even with this being.
Yeah.
Um, what would you like to do? Well, actually, I guess you've already failed, and she's charged. It's 200 feet, so I guess we just roll initiative next round.
Okay.
Do it.
74.
That's you again.
Can I see them? Do I have a clear line of sight?
Yes, because it's as it's moving as it's moving down the slope, even though you're further down, you can look up at it as it's moving down the edge.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Okay. As soon as I start moving, they might know where I am. So
right.
maybe channeling would actually be better. A channeling blast and catch them off guard. Will that be obstructed by the trees as well? Does it seem
You're going to have to wait for her to get in range, but
okay?
otherwise, no, you should have a relatively clear shot.
I think I want to do that because
Right.
she might have thought I've fallen down further. So I will. I'll wait and like focus. For her.
Oh, just sit there and aim.
Yeah.
So you're not going to make any attempts to. You're not going to make any attempt to come back up the slope.
Well, you said it's only like 10 feet, so I feel like I'll. Yeah, I don't have to do that yet.
Okay.
So no.
Okay. No problem.
Waiting game, yeah.
It is having less problems. It is just slicing through anything in its way now. It closes in. Oh lordy! Get out the other magical book of magicalness. How many PowerPoints you putting in this baby?
I am putting in 12.
12. That would be triple power.
Yeah.
I don't think it can really see you to dodge. Let's see if there's anything else.
You can shoot projectiles from your body? Well, so can I.
That's right. All right. Roll it up.
All right, here we go. Ooh, 68.
A blast of magical power of your god's fury and unrelenting hatred for all things unnatural grazes its shoulder. It shakes it off and keeps on a coming.
Oh, damn. Okay.
The horse backs off from the approach of the creature. It stops and scans the area. You're sort of, crouching, but it follows the line of disturbed leaves down and, spots you eye to eye next round.
Okay. It's a 12 for initiative.
Wow, that's not cool for you, man.
I needed.
This is interesting. What do I think it wants to do? I think it's going to come down the slope and dance. That's what it thinks it's going to do.
That's all.
Good Lord. It leaps down upon you.
Oh, Jesus.
I rolled for it to climb down the slope thinking, this clumsy thing is probably not going to do well, he says, rolling a 99, a 100, a 99, a 96, and a 47. Ooh. So, that's a gigantic roll. That may be one of the largest rolls I've ever done in Rollmaster. So I'm afraid it's going to get an attack. I think for hiding, we're going to say you're probably near a tree. Channeling, what did you probably have your spear in your other hand?
Yeah, spear and shield. If I didn't drop him, falling off the horse.
Right. Yeah, this is crazy talk. It is a freaking man. So, well, I've always liked you. I don't see any reason to continue this charade, but Well, thank goodness you're, relatively armored, is what I say. This is really going to be unpleasant. All right, it has a saber in its hand. It's tough at a glance to tell whether or not it's actually just part of its structure or what have you. Um, I'm going to find that chart. What is taking me so long? That's fine. This is.
Charge of death.
Oh my god, a fumble.
Ah!
It rolls a 2. Ah!
Wow.
It strikes very clear to your, very near your head. Um, um, striking the tree above you, severing your spear.
What? No.
The spear goes hot in your hand, then goes cold. You let go with a yelp. She hangs briefly from the tree. And then, so she leapt and swung.
Right.
It severed your spear and went into the tree. It hangs her from it, and then she falls down. She slides down the rest of the slope, sweeps your legs out from under you. You are now on top of her. No jokes, Quinn. No jokes. And she is all metal. And this is going to be crazy.
Kevin, what is going on? Just barreled at me from nowhere. Leapt at me with like a 99 and then like got their sword lodged in a tree like an idiot.
Wow.
Yeah, like tumbling down the slope with them. Gosh.
This is insane.
Oof.
Alrighty. Well, let's roll initiative. And of course, as we know, you have a target shield that is very special.
I do. Lowered initiative on the attacker. 17 for initiative for me.
Well, it can't get much lower than that. Oh, wait. Where's the button I need? Right there. Oh, you have your Cloak of Billowing. Your Billowing Cloak.
I do. Haven't gotten a chance to do anything yet because I keep like getting assaulted, but yeah.
Yes, you did.
Through my resources here.
Um,
God, I need to stop leaving my flail and my sack of muffling. As useful as that is, it's like on my horse. Like
right.
great. There's my other weapon.
All right. So it's initiative. Man, this is going to be really weird. Geez, I don't know what it would want to do. So it lifts its arrow arm. The arrow is the bolt really is nowhere to be seen. But as it swings its heavy metal fist at you, you see another one rise out of its forearm and load. So you really can't use your shield because, it's pinned between the two of you.
Right.
So that just leaves your beautiful face and body.
Guard against it.
Oh, man. It's going to punch pretty hard, I imagine. Yeah, that's pretty well off the chart there.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't worry, it's only death. And you're not... wow.
Who's afraid of death?
I know, nobody. Oh, man, a 17 for a critical. That's what we need to see.
Whew.
Punches you in the side. You have to parry somewhat next round, 17 damage.
Oh man.
It is just a blow that, I mean, you've never been punched that hard. Of course, you've not been punched very much. Usually it's weapons. Um, so you're a little winded.
It's 17. Sorry.
17 total damage.
Yeah.
You have to parry next turn. Really, yeah, next turn you have to parry.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I have to? As in,
It means you can't attack all out. That you have to use.
right? But why? Is that because this is me blocking this blow, or
No, because her blow lands before you can act. So it has to be next round that takes effect. What would you like to do?
I have to parry? I'm confused.
You have to parry next round. This is still this round. Her blow landed before you could act.
Right. So
So
why do I need to parry next round? I'm confused.
why would you have to?
Right.
Because the condition that this blow leaves you in will continue till next round.
Oh, it's like a condition. I'm sorry. I didn't know. You just said you have to. I'm like, why?
Sorry, it's a trait they do in the critical system of Rollmaster where it puts you in such a position. The blow puts you in such a position. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
That you won't be able
As
to
if
marshal.
like the wind's knocked out of you. You can't. You can
Right.
deflect, right? But you can't like go.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. So I am going to. I mean, does it look like a dagger would even do anything to this armor?
The thing is that there are joints, and all armor has joints.
Right. Okay. So then
Um,
I'll. What's my best dagger?
but do you want to? I mean, you could use the cloak even just to wrap it up and try to
Maybe.
immobilize it and just get away. Get some distance at least.
Well, can the cloak do that? I thought it was more of just to like. Oh, right. It can grab onto things. Yeah.
Not well. You can. You're right there. It doesn't need to grab onto things. You can try to wrap its face up in the cloak.
Yeah. Yeah. Not necessarily to bind it, but just to distract it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, but you can do the binding. Is my point.
Okay.
Like you can, like its length. You can command its length to go crazy long. Right. There's a max, as I recall.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But now with all this extra fabric, you can bind its face, assuming those eyes work. Assuming that's how it works. I mean,
Yeah.
there's,
I really don't have another option, so I think I will.
I mean, you could do a point blank channeling here, but hard to miss at this range. Also, you could draw your dagger and just roll off of it and brace yourself for the next attack.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with just a dagger. I need to go get my try to distance myself. Maybe get back to my horse and pull out
Right.
my flail, or just get out of here.
Sure.
So we'll do the Cloak of Billowing, try to distract it and get some distance from it.
All right. So we're going to try to bind its face. Are we going to try to? So are you going to try to get up off of it, and or are you
Yeah.
going to stay down there and just tie it up? I mean, just try to wrap it in fabric and then roll off while it's bound.
Yeah, seeing how clumsy it is, we're gonna try to do that. It's like just maybe it'll struggle with it more than a normal person would. So
Roll to command. Roll to command the cloak. Not that it's a hard roll, but a fumble is still a fumble when you're in tense situations. And then roll to bind.
So for all the watchers and viewers out there, the billowing cloak, upon the user's mental command, a billowing cloak may magically grow in any dimension, save thickness. This user can, with the flick of the wrist, envelop opponents or tangle them up, or even like use it as a kind of a parachute, but up to 75 feet in any direction. So to command, I roll an 82.
Nice.
Okay.
You get tons of fabric right there by you. You're like, stretch, damn you.
My first time using it too, by the way. I'm not using this thing yet. So.
And then roll to see how successful you bind it.
That is, it's a 10.
So you wrap it up, you roll off of it. Let's see what kind of footing you find. You find good solid footing. You're sort of downslope from it. You're sort of, I mean, you are both just sort of caught up, sort of
Yeah.
buoyed, sort of supported by brush and trees. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you're almost not standing on your own power. It's very strange. But you find good enough footing that it bounces you back, and you're not actually on your own power. Um, what do you want to do next round? We'll just have that decided
I need to
before.
run back to my horse,
Well, you have bound him with your cloak.
which is on me, isn't it?
Yes.
Can I untie my cloak?
Sure, you can just. I mean,
Yeah, I'll just leave that behind and run back to my horse.
now you could try to yank him down, her down. Of course, she hasn't gotten up
Oh,
yet.
interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah, that could work. Does it look like she could fall further down the slope? Is it steep enough?
It's so thickly wooded here. It's hard to fall very far, although it is rather steep. I mean, it's more than 45 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Let's try to do that then. Using the cloak, try to launch her down. Maybe she'll go crashing down further. So I guess like take the cloak off, and then I don't know, like.
Well, you won't need to. You can just keep growing it and have it on you. And if she tries to get up, you just keep yanking it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
interesting. This is such a weird magic item. It's so hard to visualize, but
right.
Yeah, it works.
So I wish I had a decent way to visualize it. It's for you. So she's laying. Let me see it like that. So she's laying here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were laying on top of. I can't do it. She was laying. You guys were laying on top of each other, fighting, right?
Yeah.
You take a blow, roll off this way, and you come back to her, wrap her head up, right? And then you stand. So you're somewhat lower down the slope, and all this vegetation is here just keeping you from rolling. Right. So when she tries to get up, you're going to snatch her down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I was not thinking about that at all. That makes a lot of sense.
So,
glad someone's thinking about this.
Well, yeah, I know, because I'm always visualizing it in my head, but I realize here it's really three-dimensional. It's really, it's really odd. Yeah. And doing it digitally,
Right. And another thing you mentioned is my character. I forgot what you call it. Positioning, I think, is a kind of a skill that I have. I don't know if that will play into this.
So in this situation, it doesn't really come into play. It's when you deliberately strike. It's when you place your blows, not just to score damage, but to force them to dodge in certain directions so that they back up.
Gotcha.
Or even come forward where you want them.
Right.
Backing them into a corner would probably be the most famous example of it. If you're fighting on a rooftop, just driving them relentlessly toward an edge, toward a hole in the roof. And so this is an ability that I created for warriors to have in the game. And you're certainly high enough now that you can use positioning. So whenever you deliver blows against this person or give ground against this person, you let me know about what kind of positioning options, you're like, do I see any positioning opportunities?
Sure.
All right.
I guess the other quick thing is my spear is I just drop that, right? Because that's just broken now. And I'll just have my shield.
Unless you wish to use it just as a club.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, because it's going to be
better.
better.
I have a free hand that can grab my dagger than have
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So all right, roll initiative.
Running up 93.
That is all you. So are you going to? So you're waiting for it to try to get up. You've
also
got the
backing up towards the slope, right? Or do I want to stay down so I could yank it down?
If you go up right now, you have really great footing. If you try to go up that slope, and it pulls against you, it's going to throw you down.
Yeah. Okay. So I just have to stay here and.
Right.
Well, I'll pull out my dagger then, just to have it on me.
No problem. It pulls off the stuff off its face, but it starts to rise. But while it has a hand on it, you give it a yank. Roll to yank.
Okay. 44.
Down it goes. Boom. Next round. Roll initiative. Actually, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
38.
Okay. What would you like to do this round? It is now free of the cloak. You've dropped it again another round. You've kept it. So its head is, within striking range. The problem is, that it's obviously very strong. You felt that blow it gave you.
Yeah. I don't know if I should go for it or, like I said, go back and try to get my other weapon. I mean, could I just teleport back to my horse? Can I see up through the brush?
Yes, easily.
Let's do that. I think it's worth using a teleport to just try to get up there. And if I fumble, I'm sure it'll hurt it in some way. Explosion.
That's right. All right. So, we're not going to have you roll to aim. Just roll to cast, and just
right.
Don't roll.
And my channeling helm here is a 30.
No problem. You teleport back beside your horse. The horse has remained fairly calm. It's just backed up so it doesn't get hurt, kind of a thing. Roll to orient yourself.
18.
So I can't let you mount the horse this turn. You're like, where did I? Okay, I'm where I want. Right, I'm where I want to be. It rises and turns to where you were before. There is a shot of a back attack. All right, next round. What would you like to do? It's got its back to you. It's down the slope just like 10 feet.
Ooh, might be a good time for another channeling.
Might be.
Because it could maybe knock it down.
Right.
Yeah. So, although, keep talking about knocking down the slope, but didn't it charge up the slope earlier? Maybe.
Well, an earlier part of the slope, yes.
True. Yeah, I don't know how far it was.
Right.
Okay. So I think we'll do another 12 point channeling right at its back. Try to.
Okay. Going to grab the proper chart.
Taking 50 damage from this thing. Jesus. Powerful. Show power.
Actually, let's roll an orientation roll.
For the 56.
Hey, you recall as it rose and then turned to face where you were, it has a bird emblem on its chest.
Oh my gosh. No way.
So...
Well, I was telling you about statues coming to life, and here, lo and behold, metal monsters taking
over. This is no doubt, you believe, this is no doubt a construct.
Yeah.
A metal construct, and clearly it was intended as, to serve it's the very house, or at least it's the same family house that owned the house above you.
Yeah.
The manor. So you are going to blast it in the back like a coward.
I'll take it.
Let me do the math really quickly here. Yeah, all right. Roll it up.
All right. Good roll. Here we go. 64.
That is off the chart because it is not expecting it. That is quite a blow. All right. Roll. Wait. Oh, there we go. Roll your first critical.
59.
And roll another critical.
75. Ooh, not bad.
That was a hell of a hit. It drives it. The blast hits it straight in the back. There is smoldered a little bit there on the armor. It flattens it against the vegetation. And it is presently caught up in the vegetation. You've driven it deeper in, and
Okay.
now it's splayed out on the vegetation and is tangled, and it can't exert as much force as it wants to. It's gonna be a bit for it to get free.
Okay.
Um, what do you want to do? So its turn is just struggling to get free. So I'm gonna roll, and unless it rolls crazy high, it's gonna be stuck. It struggles to get free. It's next round. What do you hope to do this round?
Okay. So sack of muffling should be on my horse.
Yeah.
Reach in there and grab my flail,
Okay.
and then I can go and try to run at it and smack it while it's hopefully still struggling to get out of the brush.
You're gonna have to go down that slope to hit it with the flail, and that slope
Oh,
is difficult to
true.
climb.
Steep. So maybe I'll just grab it and I guess I just wait for it to come back here. You know, if there's anything else I can do. Yeah, I don't want to get packed down on that slope. That's going to be. Oh, you know what? I'll do a spell. What can I do here?
I mean, you could ride off at this point.
Well, that's what yeah, I'm like, I could just escape. I don't know if this thing will catch up with me. You know,
Right.
my back will be to it.
Certainly, the horse seems capable of outrunning it.
Yeah, you know, if it does have the bird emblem too, it might be assigned to this area. So maybe if I do run away, it won't pursue me. So with that in mind, let's do that. I'll mount my horse instead, and we'll just take off
Okay. Roll initiative.
running. 69.
All right. You
I
hop
used
on.
that roll when we were on top of each other. Sorry, what?
You hop on. You start to ride off. I'm gonna roll for it to get free. Oh, possibly. So you're long gone. You keep glancing behind you. Laula is just sort of waiting for you to give it instructions. It's down the way. Do you want to call Laula back to watch your back?
I do want to call. Yeah, and I'm looking at my spells here. Where's the gosh darn? Yeah. Is it possible? So I have a shield of faith, right? That's like a floating translucent shield. Could I just put that behind my back and keep riding? Or is that like kind of like I need to maintain that? You know, it's kind of ambiguous. It just says a floating translucent golden shield.
Oh, then yes, you would command where it goes around, where it's
Yeah.
positioned on your body.
I'm calling Lila back and casting that.
Well, keep in mind, to gallop on this mountain
Right.
terrain, you may not want to distract yourself.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, how difficult would it be to cast?
Yeah, it's a lot to do. I mean, a mental command to Laula is one thing. To then do that, ride the horse and cast a spell. So roll for your gallop.
Yeah. 37.
Okay, so you're not as fast as you want it to be, because you're having to rein yourself in from. You're just too uncomfortable to go full speed.
Yeah.
But hey, it's good to know that your horsemanship is improving.
From terrible to okay.
Right, that's better than the opposite direction, right? So you make it back to the intersection. Laula watching your.
Wait,
Did you want to go forward or do you want to go back?
Well, if I go back, I'm getting closer to the house, right?
Sort
if
of.
this thing is what?
Sort of. I mean, sorry, you can choose whatever direction you want.
I wanted to keep going.
That's fine.
The intent that I'm getting further away.
Right.
I guess if it starts curving back towards the house, I have no saying that. But I'm just thinking like if
No,
this
it's
thing
fine.
came into the road.
Well, because the intersection has further roads that go further down. So I wasn't particularly thinking. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I would have kept going on this route.
No problem. Laulas, hangs back, 100 feet or so, and just keeps within a certain range. There's no sign of you being followed. Um, and you eventually slow to well, I'll have you roll again actually for another round of gallop.
74.
So yeah, definitely concentrating is the way to go. So you make it several hundred feet away. I mean, you're going basically a football field every round now. um, and the road begins to climb up. You slow the pace of the horse, um, and Lala continues to report. She's trying to stay within range now, and you're not being pursued. Um,
Whew.
um, um, so um, Lala returns to you. And is there anything you want to patch up? What would you like to do?
Oh yeah, I lost 50 hit points, so I definitely want to take some herbs. Now that we're in safety, I gotta use herbs and or healing potions. Let me scroll down here. I need to move my herbs down to where the potions are, because then I'm like they're very closely related. Yeah, we will take we'll take one red cane, and I'll see how much that gets me. So that's 5 to 50 HP.
Right.
So
26.
okay, that's probably good then. 6. Right.
Lala is back. She lands on what turns out to be a road sign. And you're like, oh, that's a road sign.
Hey, Main Street. Here we go.
Not written in a language you recognize.
Oh my gosh.
Take out your spectacles.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. There are two lines on the two lines on the manual on the sign. One points back the way you came and says Lindren's Manor.
Okay, interesting.
And the other one says Dalif. I'm gonna send it to you. And Dalif Ironworks.
Hmm. Yeah, Dalif and Dalif.
Dalif Texas. What?
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
That's right.
I lost all my bottom teeth.
And now we're doxxed. It was a good run.
Yeah, there's like 10 million people in Dallas. Good luck finding us. On Main Street, 6231. Oh, damn it.
I didn't say we were in Dallas.
Yeah. Could be in Austin. I mean, honestly, if anyone wants to find us, like, I would be honored. I'd be like, really? You care enough about to murder me? Stop me?
Hey, I think highly enough of you to murder you.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
I mean,
I can't say the same about you.
oh, you wouldn't even murder me? It's terrible.
What would I do
All
Wednesday nights? Okay.
right. That's right. It's just my dead body now streaming, which is more entertaining than the live version. And so, wow, did you see him rot the other day? That was so interesting.
Every week it's just progressively more.
That's right. Putrefaction really is the best part of the stream, I think.
Oh my god.
Um, so,
Anyway, so is it those this the road signs I see?
yes. So, up ahead is Dalif and Dalif Ironworks. Back behind you is Lindren's Manor.
All right. Interesting.
So, all right, gang. I think we're going to call it there.
Time of day, I guess still early morning, right?
Yeah, it's still pretty early morning. So, um, yeah. And could have been a lot worse since the activity roll for the day was 162.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting for it.
So, it's funny because they work against each other, right? Because if you the more encounters you have, the more of the session you take up, and so you burn through that, which is
Yeah,
fine though, because geez,
it's a good balance. Yeah.
those days are rough. Those days can be really rough. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and watching us. As always, we appreciate it. I always encourage you to hop to our various links there, the website, our donation link. Also, go check out Max's cool YouTube channel where he talks about the role of music in video games and the original soundtracks thereof. As always, thanks to Elliot Dunovitz for the cool character art for Brise. Go check out her stuff there at artstation.com. And we just appreciate you hanging out with us. And we should see you next Wednesday. Why don't you say goodbye to these lovely people, Max? I don't know why you're being so cold.
Yeah, I'm as cold as an iron woman. Is that the Iron Empress? It's all coming together.
I think the fight would be shorter, a lot shorter. You would just take her out immediately.
But anyway, yeah. Sorry, I didn't. I ran like a coward from that fight. But I hope you can understand. It's dangerous. Romance is dangerous and very real. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Tune in then, and thanks for sticking with us the past couple hours.
Yes, super fun, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Check out the links and check out the new website. Hopefully, we'll be adding more content this week to it. And thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.